all started way back in the mid-40s when Jagdish Patel, in his youthful years in his 20s as a successful physiotherapist, set up an informal entertainment club off by for a handful of select friends who were visually impaired too. They would meet, chat, play cards, chess, and read Braille books, and be together. It is here that the Blind Men's Association was formed. Located on a 2-acre campus, just across the street from the premier educational institution of IIM Ahmedabad. This is BPA India, Blind People's Association of India, in the state of Gujarat. Life is a journey and not a final destination. And like any other journey, one has to take the first step and keep going. Continue to make that effort is what counts. In 1954, Padma Shri, the late Shri Jagdish Patel, at the age of 26 years, who had spent past 18 years of his life as a visually challenged, after losing his sight at the age of 8, charted the path with private funds and donations for the differently able, or people with rare, unique abilities, to be empowered and be self-reliant with dignity and autonomy in what today has culminated into the journey of globally recognized, highly reputed, corporate social responsibility supported, the Blind People's Association India, Ahmedabad, BPAI, the largest professionally managed not-for-profit, non-governmental voluntary organization in the nation. He realized that inequality breeds inequality, and that has to stop. And thus was the creation of BPAI, the hope for the hopeless, the vision in darkness, the vision for darkness. Since the times of Mahabharata and ancient India, We as a society have a history of extreme discrimination, ignorance, arrogance, and hatred against differently able individuals, which today in 21st century India, the differently able or with rare unique abilities have turned this threat into an opportunity, not leaving any stone unturned, including conquering even the highest summit of Mount Everest. We at BPAI strongly believe in the metaphor that though all fingers are not the same, but each has its own unique, significant, and critical role to contribute to the total strength and functionality of the body. The name Blind People's Association India is a misnomer, as at BPAI we do not just work and facilitate to remove the social, environmental, and financial barriers for the visually challenged children, women, and men of all ages, but the 10 categories of differently able individuals as laid out in the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, India, including the hearing and speech impaired, the mentally challenged, physically challenged, the old aged, the autistic, individuals with polio, cerebral palsy, and multiple sclerosis, the paraplegic, and persons with multiple disabilities. We at BPAI always strive to cultivate, nurture, and fulfill this social responsibility and duty from a welfare activity to human resources development activity, which is abundantly evident in our decades of track record. The core spirit of BPAI thrives in capabilities building for self-reliance with autonomy and dignity for the differently able children, women, and men, and which can be seen in our programs and several first of its kind, innovative, outstanding, extraordinary, and orthodox societal stigma breaking initiatives over 5 decades. Transparency, best practices, good governance, and trust are hallmarks at BPA India. Under the able leadership of Dr. Bhushan Poonani, who was personally handpicked after a meeting by our visually challenged founder, Padma Shri, the late Sri Jagdish Patel, right after his graduation from one of the globally recognized premier business schools, the IIM Ahmedabad. Sri Patel was impressed by Dr. Poonani's compassionate voice, his optimism, and his willingness to go that extra mile for this noble cause as his successor. The success, growth, and the fulfillment of BPAI's vision and mission statements in these past decades is incomplete without Ms. Nandini Rawal and Mr. Harish Panchal. Ms. Rawal, also handpicked by Mr. Patel, having started to contribute from the ground up as product manager, later elevated as project director, and eventually as an executive director, have contributed immensely to strengthen the foundations of BPAI and nurture its good health with her out-of-the-box and think differently approach to management. Mr. Panchal, an electrical and mechanical engineer by profession, also handpicked by our founder, late Sri Jagdish Patel, as the Director of Training at BPAI, is responsible for spearheading the entire infrastructure of the Adult Training Center from the foundation itself, what today is a livelihood earning center too for the differently abled. We transform lives one at a time. Your support is the foundation for happy and productive lives. Pledge your contribution now and create a life. A healthy and happy India is a prosperous India. Let us build it together.